How can adoptive parents prepare themselves for the challenges they will face in their adoption journeys? May I suggest it can be as simple as picking up sticks. Hi neighbor, welcome to another unplugged episode of Anchors of Encouragement. My name is Tim Maudlin, husband, adoptive parent, disciple of Christ, and ambassador of encouragement. It seemed appropriate to record this episode outside for you because I have a story to share with you today, a story that takes place outside. But before I get into that story, I would like to invite you to become a member of our community. We have a free Facebook group, Anchors of Encouragement. We have adoptive parents and those who support adoptive parents in our group. We would love to have you there. So how can adoptive parents prepare themselves for the challenges they will face in their adoption journeys? There's going to be times of anxiety. It can wear on you. I know. I've been there. How can adoptive parents prepare themselves for these storms? Because we're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or about to go into a storm. It's just a fact of life. Now, hopefully your storms aren't that bad, but you will face storms in your adoption journeys. So how can you prepare yourself? May I suggest it can be as simple as picking up sticks. Let me share a story to illustrate my point. We have dozens of trees on our property. I don't even have any idea how many we have. There are dozens. There might even be hundreds. I'm not sure. There's so many trees, and there's more little trees growing up all the time. One of the things that we notice, especially in the spring, when we get ready to mow our yard, is that those trees over the winter have deposited a number of sticks. Before we can ever begin to think about mowing, we need to collect those sticks. Because, as you know, if you try to mow over a stick, it's going to dull your blade. And I unfortunately ran over a stick with my self-propelled push mower. The stick got caught in the pulley and caused the mower to not work, and I had to take it in and have it serviced. So I don't want to dull my blades or make my mower stop working. One of the things that I have been doing now for a while is, rather than go out all at once and pick up all the sticks and wear myself out, is that I will take a box, one box a day, and I will pick up a box of sticks. And then I'll put that box in the barn, and then the next day I'll go out and pick another box of sticks and put that box of sticks in the barn. It works really well because it doesn't wear me out trying to do it all at once. And as I do this, I get some exercise each day. It just takes a few minutes to actually do this. But it prepares the yard for mowing. But not only that, with these sticks, because they're dried out and they are stored in our barn, they are the perfect kindling to start our fires in the winter. So that's one thing that I've been doing. I've been working this spring on doing it. We had 20-something boxes last year that we went through over the winter, and we depleted our supply. But Mother Nature gives us a whole new batch of sticks to pick up in the spring. So I've been picking up sticks, and I have about 14 boxes picked up already. But to think about picking up 14 boxes at once, that just makes me tired. But I've been going out, not every day, but a lot of days in a row when the weather cooperates, and I've been picking these sticks up. That activity serves as the metaphor for what I want to discuss with you about preparing yourself to face the storms in your adoption journey. If you have been a listener to this podcast for any length of time, you might have picked up on something that I say toward the end of every episode. Right before I close, I share with you what I like to call a daily doable. Those daily doables are action steps designed to complement the training that I've shared with you in that episode. And those daily doables are designed to give you something easy to do, something you can remember and use to take advantage of applying the training that has been presented. What I want to do in this episode is to talk about the concept of a daily doable and picking up sticks as the metaphor to apply this idea of daily doables. And I want to share the stick idea, picking up sticks, but I want to apply it to how I've used this concept of a daily doable to help me prepare for my storms. I know that these storms can cause a lot of anxiety, and that's one of the things that I have decided to prepare myself is to find ways that I can be less anxious when those storms happen. And these daily doables, or picking up my sticks each day, have helped me to accomplish that so that I'm less anxious. And what I want to encourage you to do is to grab a pen and paper, and I would like you to write the word stick vertically on your paper. Next to each letter, I'll share a word with you that helps to convey the ideas that I want you to come away with this. And again, I will apply this to each aspect of dealing with anxiety as it relates to this metaphor, picking up sticks. So next to the letter S, I would like you to write the word simple. There's one thing I've said multiple times on this podcast. I don't do hard. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. I just don't do hard. I like to make things as simple as possible. Going outside every day and picking up one box of sticks is a simple activity that I can do to help prepare my yard for mowing and to prepare my kindling for the winter when we want to have fires. Now, how this applies to dealing with anxiety, I talked about and have talked about this idea of journaling already when I asked you to get pen and paper and write the word stick down on your paper. That's a form of journaling. You're making a list with these ideas. What I've done is to pick something simple that can help me deal with the anxiety of these storms. And to prepare myself to deal with anxiety, what I like to do is to take my journal and to copy Bible verses that speak to this concept of why you shouldn't worry, why you shouldn't have anxiety, or if you do, how to get rid of it. I have several verses that I have in my back pocket that I like to use to help me get over being anxious. So the simple activity I do is on a regular basis is I will copy one of these verses down. It doesn't get much simpler than that. If you're a person that doesn't want to try to journal because you don't know what you're going to write, everybody can copy down a verse. It's amazing the power of pen to paper and copying words that are designed to help you deal with anxiety. So that's the letter S, something simple. For the letter T, I would like you to write the word track. This is something, this action step you're doing, this simple action step, is something you need to track. You want to track your progress. For the sticks, all I have to do is look in my barn. There's box after box after box stacked up in my barn, just waiting for when we want to start a fire in the winter. I can track my progress by looking and seeing those boxes. Now, how I track my progress with my journaling, and specifically with these verses that speak to me about anxiety, all I have to do is thumb through my journal. I've developed a shorthand to help me kind of code my journals so that I can thumb through and see, what each page is about. But I will have these verses written down at the top. And it's amazing how many times I might write the same verse. Think about this again. I'm picking up sticks, one stick after another. I might write the same verse down over and over and over. But I don't write it all in one day. You don't get over anxiety in one day. So you have to track your progress. And I can see by doing this that I have filled my mind with these positive thoughts that will help me to deal with anxiety when these storms happen. Let's get to the letter I. For this, I want you to write, I really have two words. I'm going to give you both words. One is a bonus. The first is incremental. As I said earlier with the stick story, it's daunting to look at your yard and think, I've got to clean this up in one day. But if I take it one day at a time and pick up one box at a time, incrementally, the yard gets cleaned up rather quickly. And I like to do this before we try to mow, because then when it comes time to mow, it's done. Same goes with my journaling about anxiety. It's incremental. I do it one day at a time, where I write these verses down, I copy these verses down. But the other idea with the letter I is I want you to write the word intentional. And really, this could have been the very first point we made. But when you pick whatever goal you have, your simple goal, you want to have something you can be intentional about. And I've already stated, for me, it was anxiety. I wanted to be able to deal with my anxiety. And so I'm intentionally finding verses that will help me navigate through those difficult times. So incremental and intentional. For the letter C, next to it, write the word consistency. This doesn't work if you aren't consistent. My yard won't get cleaned up if I'm not consistently going out and picking up these sticks. I won't be prepared for the winter if I'm not going out consistently and picking up these sticks. I won't be prepared for these storms if I'm not consistently doing those things to prepare my mind to deal with difficult times. It takes this incremental, intentional approach on a consistent basis for this to work. For the letter K, next to it, it's kind of obvious with the stick idea, kindling. Because one of the benefits of collecting these sticks like I'm doing is I had the kindling for my fireplace in the winter. With a few sticks and a newspaper, I have a fire in just seconds. And then I can throw the wood on top and I'm good to go. The same holds true for my journaling, because the journaling serves as the kindling for my mind. Because I'm constantly stoking my mind with these positive thoughts so that I can take on the difficult times. And because I'm doing it on a regular basis, if it happens, and it's going to happen, these difficult times are going to pop up, sometimes at the least time you can expect it. And when they pop up, I have my mind already prepared, but then it doesn't take much more effort to add these verses in to counteract any anxiety I might be feeling. So let's get to your daily doable and wrap this episode up. I have a bonus word for you. I would like you to write the word S below the word K. And next to this letter, I would like you to write the word satisfaction. When I go into my barn and see box after box stacked up, there's a sense of satisfaction. There's a sense of accomplishment for cleaning up my yard. But then I know that I'm going to be able to enjoy the benefits of this in the winter when I have my fires. Much like with my journaling, is that when you do these things, and let me just go through the list again. When you have something simple you can do, something you can track, something that's incremental and intentional, something you consistently do, Think of it again as kindling. There is a sense of satisfaction for you when you have prepared yourself to deal with these storms. Because I know when a storm comes up, and sometimes they come at the worst possible time, I can think of those times when I had something to default to. I could go to my journal, I could thumb through pages and see where I wrote down something, where I copied a verse, and I can look at those verses and I could sit with that text and I can go, okay, things are going to be okay. And because I've done this on a regular basis, on a consistent basis, I can go back and these verses are in my head and I can copy them down again, and they can have the same effect the day the storm I'm going through as it did when I was preparing myself. It just reinforces the concept, and I'm going, okay, things will be okay. I know things are going to be okay because of what I've done to prepare myself and know the truths that I found that help me. So I would encourage you to work through this list, set your goal, follow this process, and I can tell you from personal experience, it works. It will help you to navigate the challenging times you're going to face in your adoption journey. Well, that's all for this episode. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Before I leave, I would like to again invite you to join our Facebook community. There'll be a link in the show notes. It's Anchors of Encouragement. We would love to have you there. Until next time, this is Tim, encouraging you to do what you can now.